Hello everyone. So today I am making a small video about the slope-intercept form, and we already talked about this in class today, and you're probably going to see this tomorrow, but I am recording this a day before that you're going to see this. So again, you already took this today. We talked about it on page 268. This is there. And this is our chapter 4, lesson 6. So it's our 4.6 lesson. Now, what I'm going to do is talk about some of the information that we couldn't do today, and we're still going to go over this. All I want you guys to do during this video and during this process is to get comfortable and to explore the slope-intercept form. Now, first things first, what is the slope-intercept form? Well, that's pretty easy, right? We already said that the slope-intercept form is this equation right here, or this form right here. It is y equals mx plus b. We already talked about that. That is our slope-intercept form. It is a linear equation that we can use to find information on a line in my plane, right? Now, what is it exactly? Because right now, all you see are a bunch of letters, and you're gonna go like, I don't know what those letter is. We already went through this today, but just in case we're wondering, let me see. Yes, okay. So again, we already know what M is because we already studied that in our last section, and we already took a quiz from that. And what is M? M, again, it is our slope. M is the letter that we use to represent slope. But what is a slope? Well, we already talked about that before too. Our slope is what we call a rise versus a run. And what is a rise? A rise is going to tell us if my graph is going to go up or down. And my run is just how many steps or how many places do I have to go from left to right on my points, right? From one point to the other one. We can also find slopes, right? By using the slope formula. That was the change in y over the change of x. But we can also expand this, right? And the expanded form was y under script 2. It was my second y minus my first y. Then again, this is between 2 points on that line over x2. That is my second, the x from my second point minus the x from my first point, right? That is how I find a slope. But today we're not talking about how to find that slope using that formula. What we're talking about is how to use the slope-intercept form to find that slope. And that slope is right there. The other thing that we discussed today was what is that letter B right there. And I told you that the letter B is just a constant in my equation. And that constant represents my intercept. But it is not any type of intercept, right? It's specific intercept. It is my y-intercept, meaning that it's going to be a point that's going to touch my y-axis. So it's going to be a point around this area right there. And y, we know what y is, and we know what x is, right? It is my input and my output from any function. So what is the slope-intercept form? Again, it is a linear equation that can help us locate information about a line, a straight line specifically, in our plane. Um, well, all we need actually from it is the slope and the intercept, so we can sort of know where we can locate that graph. And I'm going to show you how to put that line there by only using those two numbers. So again, so what is it? We already talked about that. Now, why is this important? Well, this is important for many reasons. The first one is one of the bases of algebraic um, information or algebraic expressions. Um, it is our linear equation. It's the form that we use, like the format that we would use to represent a linear equation where we have an input. We're going to put that input in that equation and have from it, we're going to subtract an output. So again, that is why it is important. Now let's go to how to use it. And I already talked in our class sort of how we could construct it, right? We use the information from the slope formula and we actually constructed it and we saw how we could use that information to build our graph, our linear um, function, our linear graph function, to graph that function, sorry. We already did that. But today I'm going to show you a little bit of a form, but this time we do not have to put no inputs or outputs to it. We only need what is the slope and what is the y-intercept. And all I need also is my slope-intercept form. And I'm going to show you how to do that right there. So the first things first, we already know that that b is the y-intercept. So if I have an equation, for example, any equation at all, let's say I have, I don't know, y, sorry, that is the highlighter. There we go. So let's say that I have, I'm looking here for an example. Sorry, I'm looking for an example. Let's say I have here y equals 2x plus 1. As you can see, this is in slope form, right? In slope intercept form. We have our y's. We have that number being multiplied by my x. That is going to be my slope. Plus, I have a constant that is being added. It can also be subtracted. It depends, if my intercept is positive or if it's negative. In this case, it's positive. So I'm going to add 1. So I already have that. So the first point that I can put is going to be really simple. It is my y-intercept. And again, if I have a number that says that is my y-intercept, it's going to be a number that's going to be touching that line right there. That is my y-axis. So it's going to be touching that line. So again, if my y-intercept is positive 1, then my first point should be around here on positive 1, touching my y-axis. So that was the first information that I took from that linear equation. The other information that I can find from this, it is my slope. It is right there. Says that is 2. So if my slope is m, and the slope is the same thing as a rise over a run, and again, there are two ways that can actually move on my coordinate plane, right? There are only two ways I can move this. I can go up or down. That will be my rise. And how many times forward, right, can I go? So for example, I can say that I can move from my first point or the point that I choose to go up or to the right, and that is when my slope is positive. Or I can go down, right? I can go down and into my right, and that is when my slope is negative. Negative. So I can see that my slope here equals 2. And how do I make that a fraction? So I will have a rise and a run. I'm just going to put it over 1, right? So that means I'm going to go up because it's a positive number. I'm going to rise up 2 units. So that means I'm going to go up once. Do this in another color. So I'm going to go up once. How many times? 2 times. Go up twice. It's 2. I'm going to rise 2 times. And I'm going to run to my right, right? How many times? 1 time. So therefore, my point, or my next point, should be right there. And all I really need to do a line or to illustrate a line is just 2 points. And I already have those 2 points, right? I already have those 2 points. So I'm going to try to pass a line right there. Oops, sorry. Sorry. There we go. This is kind of sensitive to the touch. There we go. So that will be my line. It's going to go through those 2 points, and I can see that I have a positive function because I have a positive slope. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. Let me erase this. Right. Here we go. Let me erase all of this. Let's do one more. Let's say that now I have something, right? Something that looks, I'm looking for another example. Sorry if I take a little bit of a while until I find that example. Let's say, for example, that I have, here we go, this one's nice, that I have the linear equation y equals a half x plus 4. Okay. Let's say I have that now. Now it's a fraction that I have as a slope. So again, the first thing that I can do here, like always, is to put my first point, that is my y-intercept. And again, in that line right there of that y-axis, I can put that first point. And in this case here, it says that it's going to be 4. So that means one of my plot points is going to be 0, the other one is going to be 4. It's going to touch my y-intercept, so it's going to go right there. It's going to be, that's going to be my first point. Now let's find my next point. How can I find that next point? Well, I can use my slope, right? And again, it says here that's going to be a half. So that means my rise is going to be 1, and my run is going to be 2. So that means I'm going to go up, because it's a positive number. I'm going to go up. How many times? 1 time. And then I'm going to run, right? I'm going to go to my right. How many times? 2 times. 1 and 2. Therefore, my next point is right there. And you could check it out, right? You can use, if you want to be sure, you could look for where it's at on my x. You can see it is on my on the number 2 on my x-axis, and on number 5 on my y. And you can substitute in this form, form right there. In my input, you can put there a 2, and you should get a 5 out of that, and there you will have your point. Now I can also do a line because all I need for a line are 2 points. So I can draw a line right there. I try to use here. There we go. You don't know what's wrong with this. It's not. Okay, there we go. It's gonna look something like that. If I wanted to extend it, right? If I wanted to extend it there. Sort of like that. Let's do one more. One more, just one more. Let's say I'm looking for a -1. Let's see if I have a -1, another one. Let's say I have, here we go. No, that's the one that we used. Let's say I have y. Say that I have y equals -5. Now let me do a smaller number. Let's say that is negative. Zoom, 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 zoom. Let's say that is -1, maybe, probably. So it will be a smaller number because I don't have a coordinated plane that has too many numbers. I want it to be a smaller one. So let's say that it's going to say y equals -1m, sorry, -1x minus, I don't know, maybe 4. Now, from this information that I have here, I know that my slope is going to be negative and my y-intercept is negative. So again, I'm always going to start with my y-intercept because it is the easiest one to see from my graph. And I have that it's going to be -4. And again, um, in my y-axis, I just going to look for the -4. And right there is going to be my first point. Now, my slope is going to be this one right here. This is going to be my slope. And if I write it down, it's going to be -1. And if I want to know what is my rise and my run, what I have to do is make it as a fraction. And I can actually see there my rise and my run. So it's going to rise negative times up, right? So that means it's going to go down once. It's going to go down once. And it still has a run of 1. So that means it's going to go to my right once. Therefore, I have my second point right about there. And again, I can graph it. If I have 2 points, I can graph a line. And you can see, right, if I were to find other points on that line, what I have to do is use that information that I have and look for different points in it. So for example, I try to do an example right here. For example, y equals -1 when x, let's say that I'm looking for it right here when x is 0. All right, there we go. -4. Sorry, that is supposed to be going like right there. Just tilt it a little, sorry. -4. So when x is 0, my y is supposed to be 4. Y equals 0 minus 4, not any 4, -4, right? So y is -4. Now, I'm not that good at drawing my lines, so therefore, Maybe had needed a little bit of a tweak there. But almost, oh, I almost had it. So my other point could be around here. So I can graph it a little bit better. Se movió. Sorry. Oh, there we go. We sort of have it. There we go. Sorry. Sorry, it just moved. This my touchpad is a little bit sensitive. So there we go. Oh. So there we go. Sorry for the bloopers. You know, that my iPad is a little bit sensitive. There we go. No. Sorry, it's just that my iPad is a little bit sensitive. So I'm gonna try to do this a little bit prettier. It was too ugly. Let me try to leave that equation right there. Sorry for that. Sorry for the bloopers, people. And again, my intercept is in my negative. It's in my -4. It's right there. My slope, I told you that it was gonna go, let's see, I remember. It's gonna go down once and once to my right. So it's gonna be right there. And my x is 0, right? We gotta put it as an input. Then my y was gonna be -4. So it's gonna be around there somewhere. I'm gonna try to do a line right there. I'm gonna try my best because I need like a good ruler for this, and for some reason my iPad is just too sensitive. Can I try? There we go. So that one went a little bit better than the other time. Sorry for sorry for the other part. Sorry for the bloopers. I hope you're laughing a little bit at home. So again, that is one of the ways I can actually find my line. I can graph my line. I can find information from that line just by looking at the linear equation when it's in the slope form. Now again, maybe they're not going to give us that equation in this form, but maybe we can move it around and just try to put it in that form. And that form is going to give me the slope, it's going to give me the intercept. And with just that information, I can actually graph my line. So that is how to use it, right? If you wanted to know how to use it, we know how to use it. So the next thing I want from you, I'm gonna give you this exercises right here. You're gonna do them on your notebook. You don't have to print or anything like that. You only have to do it in your notebook. You don't have to send it to me by email or nothing like that. But we are going to go through them in our next class. We're going to discuss them. So please try them out. So you can see if you understood the concepts that we were talking about today. So the first one says, find the slope. The slope, there we go. Find the slope. And find the y-intercept. Not the x-intercept, not any other point in my line, the y-intercept of each linear equation given below. And again, you're going to have a few equations there. You have 4 linear equations. So in this example, we have y equals 2x plus 3. And I already told you like 100 times, and I'm going to keep saying it. My slope form is y equals mx plus b. Therefore, I could say that my slope is going to be that number 2 right there. And my y-intercept is going to be that constant number, that 3 over there. So if they're asking me for my slope, let me see, they're asking find the slope. The slope is m, right? Because that is just the letter that we could use that we use to represent slope, and that is going to be positive 2. They are also saying, and the y-intercept, not the x-intercept or anything like that, just the y-intercept. And that's another information that I can find from that linear equation, and that will be 3. Do I have to graph it? I'm not asking you to graph it right now. I'm asking you to subtract information from your linear equation. And what information did I want? I wanted your slope and I wanted your intercept. Now, if you wanted it to graph it, you could, right? Because I already told you how you could do that. Let me see if I can do this. Give me a second. I'm trying here. Let me see if I can. So you can see like I did this like again. Um, how? Oh well. I guess I'm gonna have to delete it. Okay, there we go. So if I were to, sorry for that. So if I were to put those plots there, put those points there, I would know that my intercept will be 3. So my first point will be right there. I didn't have to add, subtract, or do any type of calculation. I saw where my intercept was because I used the slope intercept form. And the other thing I could do is using my slope, m equals 2. I can find my rise and my run. So that means you're going to go 2 times up because it's positive. Because it's positive. I don't know why. In my, right there. Here we go. For some reason, it went out. So I would know that I have just to go 2 times up, 1 and 2. And 1 time to my left once. Sorry, to my right once. So therefore 1, 2, and 1 to my right. There is going to be my next dot right there. And if I have to, I can draw a line. Now I cannot be a certain percent that my line is going to be strictly through every single point there, but almost, right? I could be certain only if I do like a table and going sort of there, I can see exactly each one of those points going to be. But I can predict it, right? I know that it is. I can do a very, very, very close prediction. And if I had probably a better table there, a better coordinate plane, maybe I could even do a better job right there. So the next thing that we're gonna be looking at, it is our next part of the practice exercises that I'm giving you. It says write the equation from a line by the given slope and the intercept. So this time I'm going to give you the slope, I'm going to give you the intercept, and you're going to find what is the linear equation, or the equation of the line, same thing. So they're telling me that my, let me see if I can write this here, be in a nice color. So I will know that this is going to be y equals mx plus b, right? So I can just substitute. It's going to be y equals negative 1 x plus b. Sorry, plus how much? Plus 2. Because that is our intercept. And that is all I'm actually asking for you. I'm asking you for that linear equation. Now, if you ever had questions on how to graph it, well, that is going to be very, very simple. I have my intercept says that is positive 2. Therefore, it's going to be right there. And my other point says right here that I'm gonna have a negative slope. So m is my slope, is the same thing as my rise and my run. And it's telling me that that is -1. So all I have to do here is make this a fraction. So I'm gonna go down this time, down once. I go down once and to my right. Down and into my right. Therefore, my next point is around here. And I know it's going to be a negative function, right? Because I have a negative slope. If I were to do the line, I'm going to try to make it as best as I can, really. It's going to look sort of like that. Sort of like that. A line between those 2 points. And that's all you really have to do today. Now, tomorrow we're gonna have virtual class again, and we're gonna continue with our topic on slope intercept, and we're gonna be talking about how to take this information from a graph, how to use word problems, right, to look for my linear equation, how to find that slope, how to find that intercept, right? That information right there. We are also gonna be talking about, let me see, graphing each one of those, writing the equation, just like we're doing now, with the information given. Maybe I'm gonna give you some other type of information. I'm gonna give you the slope, I'm gonna give you the intercept, maybe I'm gonna give you a point, right? In that graph, and then you can find the slope using the slope formula, and that would be it. That's all we really can do on that subject, and I hope you enjoyed this short, well, sort of short. I really tried to make this short video, but you know me, I like to talk too much. So guys, I will see you in the next class, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.